is Lorna Penner, and I'm a printmaker artist. I do watercolor batik. I'm pretty much a mixed media artist. I used to feel all mixed up, but now I have a whole different thought pattern on that.
Yeah, I found that as well. Like I used to always kind of get really stressed out and feel like I have so many interests and things I want to try, and I would get stressed out that I should stop doing that and focus on one thing so I become really good at it, and I'd get really stressed. But as soon as I stopped like kind of thinking that way and just like enjoy, like it doesn't matter if I'm okay at a million things instead of a professional one, it's more fun.
Absolutely.
And like just enjoy.
And I think that's part of the artistic process anyways.
Yeah.
Like when you see something, if I saw like some landscape or something, or like that tract or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm making an artistic decision right at that moment. How am I going to do this? And so if I do it in a batik, well, that is my decision. So it's not mixed up.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right. And it's not like I always thought, oh, I'm just a mixed up. I don't know what I want to be yet. But oh no, it's okay.
And anything you do can inform like a different medium or a different project. Like even like, like woodworking, or even like gardening or farming, or like even like like all of that can kind of inspire and work with everything else. How long would you say you've been a practicing artist? Like when would you have considered yourself an artist, or what was that kind of?
Not very long, actually. Really? Like I would say maybe 5 years or
Wow, that's unreal.
Like I mean, because I just started messing around with stuff probably about 8 years ago.
Yeah. Oh wow, that's so like.
So I really feel like I'm that emerging person.
Yeah,
I really am.
A lot of people have a lot of ideas of what it's like up here in the north, and like culturally, and with like kind of the more like work culture and like I guess like the camp culture that exists. But it's so artistic and creative, and the community is so welcoming and the
camaraderie of people sharing, that doesn't happen in big communities. In big settings, they're more like, oh no, I'm not, wherefore everybody's so sharing and encouraging, and like pulls you in and makes you total sharing of everything, knowledge, experience, encouragement, all of those things, right? Like that's what I think too.
And it's just so welcoming. It was insane.
Well, I think like always, like I was really a little bit more, creative in ways of, crafting, and always seeing something in something else. Yeah. Right? I'd see like, oh, look at those, dried flowers. I could weave them into a basket, or, stuff like that. So sort of crafty ways that way. And then, I was working out at Upper Pine School, and I had a lady, oh, you got to come. We're doing a printmaking, kind of demonstration, and you should come see it. And I'm like, oh yeah, I should, because she kept on trying to get me to come to their art group, and I was like, oh no, I just do crafts.
Yeah.
Right. And so I was like so downplayed, right? Like, oh, I only am a crafter. I'm not an artist. And
so would you kind of say like that person who kind of like pulled you from that craft side kind of showed you that like that skill kind of like how you can kind of expand upon it almost? Or
or just gave me more confidence to just explore. So anyway, so Meep, I was working with Meep at Upper Pine, and so I was working there, and she was the librarian there. Yeah. And so then she just kept saying, oh, Lorna, like, because I do art with students, like that was sort of there. I was working with different children with difficulty and different needs and such. And so there was a lot of like, okay, we're going to do work first, and then we're going to do a art project, and then work first, and then art, and I would do this, with different students that it really helped them to calm and to, whatever. Anyway, so she was like, oh, you've got to come out to my studio, and we have this art group, and you should join. I'm like, oh, no. And I had, it's pretty shy, and just, no, I just do what I do. And then, of course, she invited me to the Cultural Center to come see the printmaking that they were doing, and they were doing some work there as a demo, and Mary Parslow was there, right? And so Mary shows me this monoprint that she was making with a jelly plate, and I was just like, oh my gosh.
That's really fascinating. I had no idea that it was Meep. And like, that's funny because she's, her and Sandy were, I say, the largest catalyst for me to start taking the steps towards like the peace chapter of like the Federation, and like, but even like joining Flying Colors. Flying Colors is a local artist group, mostly
an association of artists that
locally, and I'd say Meep is kind of the
Meep and Sandy were kind of like founders, probably.
Yeah,
like there was a small group of people, and then it just is like
and kind of really ballooned out and grown.
So then from there, when I got home, well, I just wanted to learn more. So then I went, they were having some workshop or something. And I thought, well, I have no idea. I remember feeling so overwhelmed because there's all these like really amazing artists, and here I am, I don't even know anything, right? And I'm gonna do this, and I did, and it was fine. I did fine.
Every artist has that kind of mentality that like they don't compare, they don't measure up. I used to feel stressed out about it, but like it's almost the thing that if you don't let it become negative, it keeps pushing you and keeps kind of motivating you to try.
Yes, and just having more experience, right?
Yeah.
The more pushing that way, right? Of yourself.
Yeah.
To do more, right? To not necessarily to produce more, but to just have experience and let go of this expectation of perfection or some kind of like non-realistic thing anyways. Like I just feel like all the time anyways, it's just paper or it's just canvas or it's just fabric. So you do another one, who cares? I think that like that experience of age or whatever, not to sound all whatever because I'm older, but there are things like, I had so much high pressure on myself when I was younger too, and you do all these things and it's pressure that now it's like, man, sorry, if it doesn't feel good or if it's not, I'm not doing it. And it doesn't mean I think it's all great, because that's not it at all. It's about just the release of, emotion at the time.
Yeah.
Right. Or that I witnessed, whether I'm giving you what I really saw or felt from what I saw, I'm trying. Even like from where we live here, like always, I'm just in awe every single day. Right.
Yeah.
And that's, I wish I could give that away. I wish I could sell that, because I'll tell you, I'd make a lot of money.
Well, and
where I live and how I live really affects who I am, and so much big sky, like big sky, right? Like, and in farming and stuff, like in the autumn, in the fall, when you're harvesting and you're going till really late, and I mean, it is the stars. Oh my word! Like when that big sky filled and there's no interfering light, to be able to have this life of doing what I want. Right?
Yeah.
And enjoying it and getting to meet really awesome people and, getting to share my things. And then, through that, like, I start to feel more connected to where I am. And not necessarily just here where I live as in the landscape, but like if I'm traveling somewhere, like, I mean, it's like always like and seeing like the little things, like not always about the big sky, like I said, but to like look at that, like one little blade of grass, or those moments I spend with my little pigs, and you get these little nose nuzzles and stuff like that. Like those are like the most best things, and
it's art doesn't have to. Your art doesn't have to like have value for everyone. It just has to have value for you, and then anyone else's
interpretation of it, right? It's really awesome if someone gets something out of it, whatever that may be, and it's okay. Like, just because you think it means this, you can't tell somebody else what your art means to them. Yeah. Because actually that's not here. Yeah. You might do a little blurb about what it made you feel, or what it or what inspired you to do it, or whatever. But actually, I kind of don't want them. Like, I want them to have their own.
Everyone has their own experiences and their own, like, everything. And it's even like with your own artwork, like, at the end of the day, like, how you feel about it is the most important part. And even if you don't like it, as long, like, you just need to take it as it's a learning process. Okay. It's just the next step. Yeah. And it's just something.
Or there's always something, and that's where I think, like, when you, like, it depends what kind of person you are too. Yeah. Like, I believe in everything. There's something that can be found that's good if you choose to be looking for. But if you're choosing to look for negative, I can guarantee you you'll find a lot of it.
Thank